guys, I'm going to straighten you out here. Hopefully you won't slide down. I've had to come closer to the modem. In fact, I'm even going to open that. So, hello. This is take number 5 of this. I hope this one works. So I hope that if you check in, please give a thumbs up. There's a thumbs up and a heart, and just let me know that I am not frozen, if possible. I would love to see that you are joining me here today. I know several of you have started on these, and this is number 5. So we're going to get through this one. Today we are talking about core and butt, but first I want to talk about a few housekeeping items. Number 1 is the reason we're talking about core and butt is because in the Plank-O-Matic video I did a couple months ago, and I encourage you to go and take a look at that because it was a bunch of variations on how to do planks. I very briefly discussed how to contract the core, and a lot of you asked that you wanted more detail. So that's why we're doing core and butt contraction today as its very own video. The second thing I wanted to share with you is that the 3-day reset 4x4 online program is in pre-registration, which is so awesome and exciting. I cannot stand it. And why would you want to pre-register? Well, you would want to pre-register, and you can do so in the link below once I'm finished this video. You would want to do that because I am going to be honoring my pre-registrants with a coupon code to get a discount off registration when registration opens on the 2nd. So I hope you'll hang out with me for that. And well, some people were asking for a little bit more detail about what the program entails. And so what it is the 3-day reset is the book I wrote and published in July, and it goes over a 3-day food plan for resetting your body, for kind of refreshing, if you will, and feeding your body nutrient-dense whole food that is so good for you. And the beauty of it is you just only have to do it 3 days, and you get lots of great benefit. Some people, and what I encourage, is that you practice the 3-day reset on a regular basis. And so what the 4x4 online program is going to look like in January is we are going to do 4 back-to-back resets every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for 4 weeks starting January 15th. And we are going to do that in conjunction with an exclusive Facebook peer mentoring program with 6 online private broadcasts with emails with additional recipes and fitness tips and different things to help integrate into your 3-day reset plan and really give you a deep dive into the program that you can't get otherwise. So I hope you'll pre-register for that, and then, as I said, registration opens January 2nd through the 5th. It's just 4 days of registration, so I will be sure to blast and let everybody know when registration is open. But if you pre-register, you'll get that information right into your inbox with the discount code for registration to get a little bit of money off the program. Okay, so that is the 4x4 online program for the 3-day reset. We are talking about core today, and we are talking about the butt muscles. And the problem with core is that we have, or many of us have been contracting core ineffectively. Scientists have taken electrodes and placed them all over our bellies to determine what the best way to contract the core is. And unfortunately, some of the ways we've been doing it over the last several years is not effective. So I learned in yoga that when you contract your core, you suck it in and up, okay? You know, create sort of the soup bowl here, sucking it in and up. Well, when we attached electrodes there, it was not effective. And so we have found a couple ways that we can contract the core that are very easy to explain, that actually fire up more of the muscles around the core, providing better support. But why do we even want to contract the core? Well, it supports your spine and your nervous system. It helps with balance. It helps with strength in other areas of your body. And it's essential. And every year that we age, if we lose our core strength, we lose our physical ability to experience our world. Going from sitting to standing, getting up on top of things, different physical endeavors just become not an option if you don't have core strength. So it's exceptionally important to address that on a very regular basis. And so how do we do it? Well, the first way is if you got into a kerfuffle with somebody and they wanted to respond physically to that and they were going to punch you in the stomach, there is a very innate natural way that we contract our tummy muscles to respond to that. And so it makes sense that we were designed to contract our core properly during a surprise attack. So let's do that. Let's pretend someone's going to punch us in the stomach and you just tighten naturally. That is a very effective core contraction. So you can practice just the punch in the stomach method. The second method is the shush muscle. If you had someone way across the parking lot that you wanted to quiet down, you would shush them. And we want to shush firmly for 3 seconds, and that gives us a really good core contraction as well. So if you put your hands on your stomach, and let's do it together, we're going to shush hard for 3 seconds, okay? Shh. And you should feel really nice, firm contraction throughout your abdominal muscles. So the shushing method, it's kind of my favorite. I like it. It's an easy one to teach. My clients and patients seem to respond to that one really well. So it's a good one to practice, but you can also practice the punch in the stomach one. But the key is to practice. And so how do we do that? Well, we go throughout our day and think about ways to contract the core. And so when you're driving or you're standing, practice that shushing. You don't have to shush every time. Once you get a handle on it, you'll be able to contract it without the shush. And the other way that you continue to work on contracting core is you destabilize your foundation. And so instead of standing in a lineup on 2 feet, stand on 1 foot and practice balancing. If that's too easy, practice closing your eyes. And that helps fire up those core muscles more regularly. Now in the gym, it's even easier because we have balance pads and balance boards and Bosu balls, and you can take any exercise that you do, like a bicep curl or a tricep extension, and you can get up on one of these destabilizing platforms and superpower to the core. Your workout is suddenly much more efficient, and you're doing core throughout your whole workout instead of just at the end on the mats over in the corner. So make sure during your workout you're looking for ways to challenge your balance, which will fire your core, and then throughout your day, same thing. You want to work on ways to create challenge through that core as well. So that's the core. Now we want to talk about butt. Behold the butt. What used to be a very, very strong couple of muscles because we ran around chasing down our food is now sort of more a fluffy seat cushion, if you will. And that's not helpful to us, having fluffy seat cushions instead of muscles. So we need to find ways to fire up that core and fire up those glute muscles and really strengthen them. To me, with my background and what I've studied, I feel like the glute muscles are almost equally as important as core because they provide a foundation for the whole spine. We use them extensively, and they are key in basic movements throughout our day: walking, climbing up on something, running, reaching for things. You know, those glute muscles have to engage, and the problem is we're not engaging them very well. I often find that when I put my hands on a patient's butt and say, squeeze your butt together, it's either nothing, or it's weak, or it's shivery and not solid. And so what I say to them is I say, put your hands on your bicep, and let's do that right now together. You're going to go ahead and put that hand on the bicep, and I want you to squeeze your bicep, and then relax it, and then squeeze your bicep, and then relax it. You can fire that bicep super easy because we use it so much. And so your brain has built a super pathway or a super highway to that muscle, and it knows how to fire it like that. Well, our glute muscles should have the same power. And the problem is that most of us have dirt, brambleberry covered paths to the glutes instead of a superhighway. So we have to practice. We have to keep firing them over and over and over again to start to build that nice highway of information to the glute so that it fires strongly, effectively, and consistently. So put your hands back on your butt, and I want you to squeeze together and hold for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then relax it. You should feel a very big difference between relaxed and contracted. And if you don't, it probably means you don't have a great neural pathway to those glute muscles, and you're going to have to practice a lot. Another way to determine if you have good connection there is put your hand on both, but only squeeze one. So squeeze that right one for me, and then let it relax, and then squeeze the left one. And you should feel a marked difference between the two sides. You should also note whether you're contracting well on the high level of the glute and the low level of the glute, or if there's a discrepancy between those two. And that's what we want to practice. One of my patients, I joked with him, I said, look, because we could not get him to contract his glute muscles. He couldn't find them anywhere. And I said, okay, I want you to run across the room. I'm going to give you a $100 bill if you do. I want you to carry it across the room with you, but you can't use your hands. And all of a sudden, he could find his glute muscles. And I know that sounds funny, but it is interesting when you motivate in just the right way how you can get people to find certain parts of their body to contract it effectively. So I train people to contract their glutes lying on their back, lying on their stomachs, seated, standing, and in movement, because we have to be able to do it in all of those different ranges of movement. And so my encouragement to you is practice it throughout the day. Butt squeezes in the car, butt squeezes while you're lying in bed reading, and practice doing one side and then the other, because that gives you even more control. So squeeze the right side for 10, squeeze the left side for 10, squeeze both for 10, and then let it relax, and practice that throughout the day. So these, what we call isometric contractions, where you're not actually moving any part, but you're just squeezing and holding, are extremely effective for building that muscle strength. So just as a recap, we talked about core, shush muscle, punch in the stomach, and destabilizing your foundation throughout your day, whether you're in the gym or you're out and about. Then we talked about butt muscles, and that they're very, very important, and that we need to know how to squeeze them strong and wholly, like we can our biceps, and we need to practice that. And so we do right, left, and both throughout the day. We practice that, holding for counts of 10, and that gives us a great opportunity to increase our foundational strength in our glutes and our core. Okay, so that's it for today. How do you like my friend? This is an awesome artist in Scottsdale, and that's where we are right now. And we are heading out to the Out of Africa Zoo, which we've never been to before, so I'll let you know how it goes. But I hope you guys all have an awesome holiday, and love you, and I will be here next Friday, so do let me know if there's a certain subject you'd like to discuss, and I will put it on the list, okay? I hope you were all well and healthy, and I got lots of hearts. That means we finished our broadcast. Yay! We had a little technical difficulty earlier. And so Jenny, will you get better as you practice? I'm terrible. Yes, especially the butt muscles. As we build pathways there, you'll feel those muscles contract more effectively, which is really helpful. And again, it's not just for now, although it is important now, but as we start to age, sitting to standing, getting up off a toilet, getting in and out of bed, climbing up on things, it's essential that we have that core and butt strength. And for those of you that are younger, if you want to see improvements in your muscle strength and reduce your frequency of back pain and other problems, then absolutely core and butt is essential for strengthening. Okay guys, thank you so much for everybody checking in. Happy holidays to you, Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next week.